Hello everybody and welcome to the Archie football channel and welcome to my player ratings for Chelsea versus Liverpool. We saw a nail-biting match at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea won late and grabbed all 3 points against the champions thanks to a Estevao late winner. Chelsea took the lead early on thanks to a Moises Caicedo screamer in pure Moises Caicedo fashion. Cody Gakpo got the equaliser for Liverpool after a beautiful assist from Alexander Isak. Chelsea were the ones that kept on pushing. Chelsea were the ones that kept on creating the better chances, and that we were the ones that looked like scoring, really. And Gary Neville said it well, that you wouldn't have thought that after Liverpool equalised. You thought there was probably only one winner. You thought we might sit back, but Enzo Maresca, he brought on fresh legs in the attack, and we went for it. And luckily for us, we came away with the win, deservedly so, after a fantastic ball from Cucurella into Estevao as he tapped home the winner. These are my thoughts on every player's performance against Liverpool. So before we start off with the player ratings, these are what the rankings mean. So if a player is ranked between 1 and 2, then that means they've had a bad performance. If a player is ranked between 3 to 4, that means they've had a below average performance. 5 to 6 means average. 7 to 8 means great, and 9 to 10 is just absolutely exceptional. So without further ado, let's get into the defence. So this is the defence that we started the game with. As you can see, Robert Sanchez in goal, Reece James at right back, Josh Achapong and Benoit Badiashile made up the centre-back partnership, and Marc Cucurella at left back. Starting off with Robert Sanchez, we're going to give him a 6 out of 10 rating. Now, this might seem a little harsh, but Robert Sanchez, we're going to put him above at the upper side of the average rating, because he had a good game. He did his role quite well. There was a few times where he had to pick the ball out of the air from a cross from Liverpool, and he did that superbly well. There were a few dodgy moments on the ball where he gave the ball away, so that's why he doesn't really get to the great level of the 7s and 8s. But yeah, it was a decent performance from Robert Sanchez, and one that he can be pleased with. Next up, we're going to go with the captain for this game, Reece James, and we're going to give him an 8 out of 10. Reece James was just absolutely fantastic in the game against Liverpool. Defensively, he was solid, very, very solid when he was playing at right back. Wasn't really letting anything get through him, and attacking wise he was contributing nicely as well. But the reason that he gets an 8 instead of a 7 is because later on in the game Maresca had to play him at centre back alongside Joel Hato, and not only to play at centre back, which he hasn't played for quite a while, or I think he said that he's never played that position before. I'm pretty sure we have seen him at centre back, but in a back three. So to play at centre back in a back four instead of a back three for the first time, and put in a performance like he did, was fantastic. And he had a true captain's performance. I mean, before the game, you could see that he was saying to the players, read my lips, we're gonna win this game, we're winning this game. And that's the kind of captain we want. It's crazy to see how we've seen him grow from just an academy graduate that had a lot of potential to now the captain of this club and to an incredible leader. We couldn't have a better captain for this club than Reece James. He leads by example, and it's a big reason why we pushed through that game and got the 3 points. Next up is Josh Achapong, and he gets a 7 out of 10 rating. I mean, this was an outstanding performance from Josh Achapong. This was only his second start of the season. His first start came against Crystal Palace, where he didn't really give Mateta any kind of joy. And against Liverpool, Alexander Isak had barely any kind of joy against Josh Achapong. I mean, he doesn't get enough credit, Josh. Josh really doesn't get enough credit, and he needs to start more often, because the way he plays for his age, it's like he's played professional football for 5 years, not for 1 year like he has. He was just absolutely fantastic against Liverpool. There was a few dodgy moments where he gave the ball away on the ball, but defensively, honestly, he's probably one of the best defenders we've got at the club. So yeah, fantastic performance from Josh Achapong. And Benoit Badiashile, we're going to give him 7 out of 10. These two were just such a fantastic centre-back partnership. And I hope both of their injuries aren't a long-term thing, because I want to see this centre-back partnership more often for us this season, as that's probably the best centre-back partnership we can have with Levi Colwill out injured. Last but not least, Marc Cucurella at left-back, 8 out of 10. He's probably one of our most consistent players in the team alongside Moises Caicedo. You can put him in at left back and you know he's going to put in a shift. He had Mo Salah in his pocket the whole game. Salah wasn't really getting any great chances. Fantastic defensively. Going forward, he added another element to our attack, and that ball across to Estevao was absolutely incredible. We're so lucky to have an elite talent like Cucurella at left back. He's probably the most consistent left back I've seen play for Chelsea since Ashley Cole. So let's move on to the midfield now, and we're going to start off with Malo Gusto, who gets a 7 out of 10 rating. Maresca surprised us all with Malo Gusto in midfield. I really did think it was going to be Reece in midfield and Malo Gusto at right back, like we've seen so often when they both start in the same starting 11. But Malo Gusto made up the three in midfield alongside Caicedo and Enzo, and it was an inspired tactical change from Maresca. Man for man, Gusto had McAllister locked down. He was an absolute engine in that midfield, and Maresca said it so many times that Gusto is just such a utility player for us. You know, he can play right back, he can play in centre mid, he can play on the wing, and we've seen him put in outstanding performances in every single one of those positions. Yes, he maybe needs to be a bit more consistent, but you can see why Maresca loves him, and you can see why he plays him so often. So yeah, fantastic performance from Gusto. And Moises Caicedo, we're going to give him a 9 out of 10, and not only are we going to give him a 9 out of 10, but we're going to give him the Man of the Match award. He got the Man of the Match award in the actual game. So he was the official Man of the Match. But Moises Caicedo, he was just absolutely exceptional against Liverpool. Barely put a foot wrong. Alan Shearer said it best on Match of the Day, that there was a little bit of Frank Lampard in that performance. There was a little bit of N'Golo Kante in that performance. And that's the biggest praise you can give Moises Caicedo. You know, he wasn't only exceptional defensively, he was exceptional in attack as well, and advancing us forward. There were times where, you know, our play was a little bit slow, and Caicedo, he brought the ball forward, he carried the ball forward and helped advance the attack a bit more. I don't think he gets enough credit from rival fans, really, and he's starting to get more credit from the media. Gary Neville said he's probably the best midfielder in the Premier League right now, and you know what? I agree. Moises Caicedo right now is the best midfielder in the Premier League. I can't really think of many other players that are better. Obviously, you look at the Declan Rices, you look at the Rodris, you look at Ryan Gravenberch, but I don't feel like they're in that conversation. And Enzo Fernandez, we're going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think Enzo's just absolutely fantastic. He's got such a massive passion for this football club, and he doesn't get enough credit for the role he plays in this team. Don't underestimate how good that pass is to Cucurella, because it looks like a simple pass, but it's because he makes it look simple. Like that's a pass that only the top passers in the world make. So next up is the attack, and Pedro Neto, first up, we're going to give him a 7 out of 10. A lot of people laugh at me when I say Pedro Neto is one of my favourite Chelsea players, but there's a reason why he is, and it's because he just works so hard for the team. You know, attacking wise, he doesn't really get enough credit. He puts fantastic crosses in, dangerous crosses as well, which helped us score the first goal against Benfica. And if there was a proper striker in the box, then maybe some of his crosses would have tested Mamardashvili a bit more. Pedro Neto, I think attackingly he's underrated, but what I love most about him is his work rate off the ball. And a lot of people say, why is Pedro Neto starting? Why can't we start Estevao? Or why can't we start Garnacho and Estevao? But it's because Garnacho and Estevao, their work rate isn't at the level that Pedro Neto's is, and people take that for granted. When we don't have Pedro Neto on the pitch, you see the difference, because he's running up to defend, he's running down to advance the attacks and to take on his man. I thought he was very good against Liverpool. I thought he was causing them a lot of problems. And yeah, although he didn't get a goal and assist, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. João Pedro's up next, and I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I feel a bit sorry for João Pedro, because he can't really impact the game as well as he can do up front. He did have some good elements to his game against Liverpool. He linked up play nicely, and he was making nice runs in the box, but he just couldn't really impact the game attacking wise. He's much better when he's playing off a striker like Liam Delap. So yeah, he got taken off for Mark Gui, which was the right decision. But I want to see him and Mark Gui start together, hopefully against Nottingham Forest. I don't know if that'll happen, but I want to see him and Mark Gui start together pretty soon, because I think he can impact the game a lot more and we can see the best of João Pedro again. Next up, Alejandro Garnacho. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he was absolutely electric against Liverpool. He had Conor Bradley on strings throughout the whole game. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with Conor Bradley. He knew exactly how to deal with him, and Conor Bradley, he just had no idea what to do against Alejandro Garnacho. I thought he was a bit unlucky to not get a penalty as well. So fantastic performance from Alejandro Garnacho, and he got taken off for Jamie Gittins, which is the right decision, just for a bit of fresh legs. But yeah, he was unlucky not to get a penalty and not to get a goal or an assist, I think, as well. Now we're just going to go through the subs very quickly, and then I'll give my overall rating for Enzo Maresca. So Romeo Lavia, we're going to give him a 7 out of 10. He's so good, honestly. If Romeo Lavia stays fit, then you're going to see him in conversations about if he's potentially one of the best midfielders in the league, because he is that good. He's such a good player, and I really hope that he stays fit this season. Please can he stay fit this season, because the football gods are robbing us of an all-timer midfielder. Joel Hatto, 7 out of 10. He came on, played alongside Reece James, and was very, very solid in defence. I was very, very impressed with his performance, so well done, Joel Hatto. Mark Gui came on. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He didn't really impact the game attacking-wise as much as he probably would have liked to, but his pressing was absolutely needed against Mamardashvili, who did not look comfortable on the ball whatsoever. And don't underestimate how good that move is from Mark Gui, where he's distracting Van Dijk for the winning goal, because that goal probably doesn't go in if he doesn't distract Van Dijk. Estevao, we're going to give him a 7 out of 10. Once again, he's come on the pitch and he looks like the brightest spark for us in attack. When Eden Hazard was playing for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, whenever he was on the ball, you could just see the fans stand up and know that something could happen from his attack. And it's the exact same with Estevao when he's on the ball. Whenever he's on the ball, you can see and hear fans thinking, something could happen here. We could get a goal here because Estevao's on the ball. And that winning goal, his first Premier League goal for Chelsea, and it's a winning goal against the champions Liverpool. That's just absolutely exceptional. So well done, Estevao. Fantastic performance. And hopefully he gets a start against Nottingham Forest. Jamie Gittins, 7 out of 10. Jamie Gittins, this was probably his best performance for us so far. Obviously, not including the pre-season matches he played for us. But Jamie Gittins was very, very good against Liverpool. Because, do you know why? He was actually, making braver decisions. Against Benfica, he wasn't being as brave. He was too worried to make mistakes, but you could see him cutting inside. You could see him taking shots on and troubling the goalkeeper. Jamie Gittins, he needs to just keep being brave in attack, because he's got the ability. He's got the ability to make a difference. So, be brave and take on your man and take on shots. Because that's the problem we had with Sancho. But hopefully Jamie Gittins kind of understands that he needs to be more brave quickly. Because if we can get a fearless Jamie Gittins on the left wing, then we might be seeing a fantastic winger playing for our club. And last but not least, the coach, Enzo Maresca. I'm going to give him 10 out of 10. Now, yes, you could say it's not perfect because he didn't have a clean sheet. But you know what? With the problems he was dealt with, two of his starting centre-backs went off injured. He had to play Reece James and he had to play Hatto at centre-back. He dealt with those problems perfectly. And I've been giving him criticism for the United game, for the Brighton game, where he panicked and was maybe too soft with his changes. But against Liverpool, he went for it. He could see that the game was there for the taking for us. and he put on the substitutions to help us win that game. And this is probably his best coaching performance I've seen, other than the game against PSG. So Enzo Maresca, and he got a red card. And I love the celebration down the touchline, running down the touchline. It had Mourinho vibes. I wonder if Mourinho gave him some advice on how to do that. But yeah, it was a fantastic celebration, and it'll maybe build some more connection between him and the fans that aren't sure about him still, which I don't know why you wouldn't be sure about him. He won us a Club World Cup, he won us the Conference League, and he got us top 4. So, Enzo Maresca, backing him all the way. This was his best coaching performance by far. Actually, I'd probably say it's better than PSG because of the problems he was dealt with. There we have it, guys. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, I've decided to discontinue the good, the bad, and the Chelsea. I feel like the player ratings is a much better way to do things because I can kind of shed light on each player's performance. And it's a bit more simple for you guys to understand as well. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. The next player ratings video will be out for the Nottingham Forest game. I'm excited. I've taken about a week off of making content for this channel because I kind of just really wanted to sit back and decide what I want to do and what videos I want to put out there for you guys. And I've got a great idea, not just for player ratings, but also more video ideas coming out in terms of monthly videos and everything like that. So a lot of things in the pipeline. So make sure you subscribe. I'll see you next time.